What's up? What's good, everybody? What's good, everybody? Yeah, what's good, everybody? How y'all doing today? Welcome to the live. Welcome to the live. Welcome to the How are y'all doing today? Everybody get on in here. Everybody get on in here. Everybody get on in here. What's good? What's good, everybody? Hey. I got some things I want to talk about today. I got some things I want to talk about today with everybody. I'm fasting today. Thank you for the roses. I'm fasting today, so the only thing I'm really drinking today is coconut water. What's up, Zay? Thank you for the roses. What's good, everybody? Listen, y'all, remember what I told y'all, like, this, what I'm doing right here, this is a form of therapy for me. This is a form of healing for me when I come to talk to y'all. And this is a form of me being able to give back with my heart and be able to, kind of just like give love with this. So, number one, I just want to say that everything that's going on, Killian, I've been meaning to hit you up. Can you DM me right now, Killian? So first of all, what I want to say is that, number one, that I've been told from the spirit realm, and sometimes you may have situations coming up to purposely trigger those points in your life. And I talked to a friend yesterday, and I want to talk to y'all today too. I was talking to a friend yesterday because one of my friends, he's really good with managing energy. He's really good with not letting it affect him. And I haven't 100% mastered that. I'm not perfect. I've had, emotions come in and I can see it in my physical reality. But the best thing is that when you are in life and you recognize, you know what, I don't like this. I don't want to keep experiencing this. I don't want to participate in this. Once you become aware of it, it can change. And he was telling me yesterday, he was like, man, you got to just do things. He's a very wise person. He's like, man, you just got to do things out of love. He's like, just do things out of love. Don't do things because you think it's going to get you the most followers. Don't do things because you think it's going to get you the most likes. Do things out of love. Do things for what you love to do. And I was like, man, that's facts, man. That's facts, because you start to lose yourself. And this is not really what I've been dealing with, but I'm just putting this out there too, because I'm giving you guys a whole markup of everything that we talked about that I felt like really helped me. Thank you, Lala, for the shrimps. I'm also gonna do a couple of numerology, little mini readings on here too, so make sure y'all stay for that. But before we get into that, I just want to go ahead and give some value first of all. So if you don't mind, I would prefer to tell you how I'm dealing with it. Does that help you? Do you know what I'm saying? Do you think it'll help you if I tell you how I've been dealing with it? First thing that I did was, number one, I realized that I needed to put some crystals on. Real talk. What's up, Cairo? I needed to put some crystals on, bro. Like, I haven't worn any crystals in a while, but like the past couple of days, I've been really feeling like attacked in my head, like energetically. And I was like, you know what? Like, I really need to put some crystals on. So I ended up putting on lapis lazuli and hematite, because I'm just like, bro, like, it just felt like attacks. Like, real talk, it's been feeling like attacks. But I'm not going to go into victim mode. I don't see it as attacks. it feel like an attack, but I'm not going to see it as an attack. I'm going to see it as an opportunity for me to grow. And my main thing that I'm working on lately is my perspective on everything. You know, everything can benefit us if we make our perspective that way, because our perspective is everything. The way we see things really do affect us. The way we see things really affect us. Also, guys, I do want to say that if you want to get something from my crystal shop, I'm back up and running with the crystals, and I'm going to be shipping out everything. I just put it in the chat. It's also in the bio, manhertz.com, MNHRTZ.com. Okay. Make sure y'all go get y'all some crystals at a time like this, dog. Make sure y'all go get y'all some crystals at a time like this. I'm literally wearing Libyan desert glass, like, for real. What's up, auntie? So, auntie, stay in this chat. Stay in this chat. Stay in this chat, auntie. So, what I wanted to talk about is how I've noticed that this has been affecting me, okay? So, number one, what I've noticed is that all of your main thoughts that has been hurting you, that have been detrimental, are coming to the forefront, and you can no longer like put those thoughts to the side. You have to face these thoughts now. So if you had thoughts of lack, and sometimes I deal with thoughts of lack. Who doesn't deal with thoughts of lack? Sometimes you deal with thoughts of lack. Sometimes you deal with insecurity. Sometimes you deal with anxiety. Thank you for the roses. And you have to face these. And I'm realizing that this is the time where you have to face some of your biggest fears, which is those thoughts, which is experiencing from those thoughts. And when you're able to face these thoughts and be able to redirect them. So, for example, I woke up today. Let me tell you what I did. I woke up today and I just didn't really feel my best. I didn't feel my best. So I'm like, I have to talk to myself. I can't be stubborn with myself. Sometimes we even tend to be stubborn with ourselves, you know? So I started feeling like not so good. So what I did was I was like, you know what? Let me clean up a little bit. Let me go get some coconut water. I was like, you know what? I'm going to fast. So today I'm fasting. I'm not eating anything. The only thing I've been drinking literally is coconut water. I was like, I'm going to fast today because I need to get the negativity out. I need to get the negativity out. Everything is energy. And a lot of times, if you've never paid attention to it, you don't even think it exists. But just because you don't pay attention to it and in your realm it don't exist, doesn't mean that it's not real. But when you start to, thank you, Lala, for the gifts. Thank you, Cosmic, for the hearts. When you start to take your time to really pay attention to the energy and to get very familiar, like pay attention to the subtle energy around you. Pay attention to the subtle energy around you and where is this energy coming from? Is it from situations that you're dealing with? Because some of y'all have a gift where you're empathetic or you're very sensitive and you pick up energy very well. But let me ask you, what do you do when it's time for you to rework your energy and put your energy back to a higher state? And I realized, like, you know, like, sometimes I've been trying to like figure things out. I've been trying to test things. And one thing I realized is that I don't have to dumb down my content. I don't have to dumb down my content to get the rest of the world. Sometimes we think we need to adapt to the world to win the world, when in reality, we have to continue being 100% ourselves, and what's meant for us will continue to find us. Period. And if you guys are receiving something, receiving clarity from this live, please go ahead and leave a like and share this video, subscribe, comment. Those things really help me out. What's up, Meow Meow? What's up, Baines? What's up, Cairo? What's up, Jamie? What's up, Misha? What's up, Auntie Ori? I love you so much. I love you too. It's not about what people think at all. It's not that I was worried about what people think. I just felt like I wanted to get more of the world to hear my message. But the thing about it is that no matter how ahead of the curve you are or how much your message is for someone, if it's not for them to hear right now, if they're not able to understand it, you're wasting your time and your breath by trying to force it to them. Thank you, Cosmic Baby, for the heart puffs. So what I realized is that I have to just continue being me, even if I'm a little bit faster than most of my peers, or I'm a little bit faster than, everybody around me. Maybe you're a little bit more advanced than the people around you. Does that mean that you have to dumb down who you are to be able to get along with everyone? You shouldn't have to do that. Thank you for the roses. You shouldn't have to do that. You should be able to stay who you are, no matter how advanced you are. These people have to get on your level. And if you keep lowering yourself, you're only going to attract those people. I've just sent it. What's the best crystal to protect our mind? Amethyst, clear quartz, lapis lazuli. Don't conform. And that's the thing. You have to allow people to adapt to you or get to your level. So thank you for the roses, YG. So another thing that I was realizing, and I want y'all to know that, remember how I just told you got to do things that make you feel good? This right here is one of them. I feel like this is therapy for me. So something else that I wanted to say too is that when I started feeling weird, I cleaned up a bit, and honestly, I still have more things to do. My room in here is a mess, and I'm like, you know what? Let me take my time and let me just clean up everything. Let me put some pictures up. Let me get creative. So then what I decided to do was, I was like, you know what? Let me meditate. But then when I tried to meditate, I couldn't get into it. So I was like, you know what? Let me try to release more of these energy, release more of these thoughts, and then let me try to meditate again. So I'm going to meditate again after this live, right? So I meditated for a couple minutes and I was like, man, this just doesn't, it's just like I'm not really getting into it right now. So I went outside, I sat outside for a little bit, and then I started listening to Joe Dispenza. I got into bed and started listening to Joe, but then I started to feel that I was starting to feel bad for myself. And I was like, okay, no, we can't do this. So then you know what I did? I started talking to myself. And when I tell you guys, talking to yourself feels so good. I was like, Ori, you are strong. You are wise. Nothing can stop you. Nothing can and it may seem corny. But sometimes this is what you have to do to get yourself together. So I was talking to myself. I was like, Ori, you're wise. Like, you're not going to let nothing defeat you. Like, you're strong. You got this. Like, you got this. You got this. You got this. You get what I'm saying? I'm a 7 life path. I got 33 energy, but I'm a 7 life path. And all I could think about is just like taking every time that my mind wants to go to something negative and be like, no. So then even what else I started to do is I took a drum, like an African drum, and I started thinking about my ancestors. You know, sometimes you can ask your ancestors for help. You can ask your spirit guides. My benevolent ancestors, I ask that you help me maneuver all of the negativity. My benevolent ancestors, I ask that you continue to bring me good energy and you allow me to see the truth. Do not allow me to be confused by thought. Allow me to have a clear mind, a cool head. And you have to speak these things. Because truth be told, the fasting burps are already happening. Truth be told, you have to realize that, like, when you start to really take care of yourself and you really start to learn yourself, you'll realize that you can heal yourself. And I give thanks to my ancestors. Exactly. And you know what else was helping me? Just like going into gratitude. I'm grateful. I'm grateful. I'm grateful. I'm grateful. I'm grateful. Yes, Ashe. I'm grateful. I'm grateful. I'm thankful. I'm thankful. I'm thankful. I'm thankful. I'm thankful. So when I started to realize that the more I say gratitude, the more I feel better. I'm grateful. I'm grateful. I'm grateful. I'm grateful. Oh, I'm grateful to be alive. I'm grateful to be able to be on here. I'm grateful to be able to talk to y'all. I'm grateful. I'm thankful. And then I put my crystals on because I was like, I will not allow these energies to continue to attack me or I will not allow these energies to take over me. I will not allow my lower self, my old self, to get so much power over me. And I know like the past couple of days, I haven't really ate the healthiest. So I was like, you know what, today I'm going to fast. But why am I fasting? What's my intention? The reason why I'm fasting is to remove all negative energy from me. To remove all negative energy from me. And last night, I didn't go to sleep till 5 a.m. And I had some negative situations coming up. And in the midst of the negativity, I was like, I'm going to stay calm. I'm going to stay calm. I'm telling myself what's going to happen now. I'm controlling my body, because sometimes our human bodily instincts, our body is like an animal that we have to tame. Our body is like an animal that we have to master. And sometimes we don't realize that this body has taken up a lot of habits that aren't so powerful or that aren't so empowering. Somebody said, man, I don't think you know how bad I needed this. Who you telling? I needed this for myself. Thank you for the rose. That's why I'm doing it. That's why I'm doing it, because I know that if I can speak it out, I can get rid of it. I can. And that's another thing. Y'all need to understand the power of sounds too. You could push energy away. Everything is energy. Everything is energy. Some of y'all need to go in nature. I need everybody just take a deep breath with me. I'm going to get my sound bowl. Hold on. I'm going to get my sound bowl. Stay there. Stay there. Stay there. I'm going to help you. So here we go. Check me out. Here we go. I don't want it to be too loud, so I'll... Just take a deep breath with me. Just take a deep breath. At times like this, when you're feeling triggered, when you're feeling like you're being tested and you feel like, man, there's a lot going on, there's a lot of energy, this is when you go back to your practices. This is when you go back to what you know to be true. And you see how the energy forces you to take this deep breath? Yeah, that was good. And that was needed. That was needed. That was needed. I don't know what your question is, Chosen. I didn't even see your question. What's the sound for? What does it do? So this sound is actually healing frequencies. And this healing frequency is for your crown chakra, your head. For your head. You get what I'm saying? Sup, lima beans. What frequency is that, ball? I think this one is 432 hertz. Ashe. You know, and so how many of y'all are feeling very triggered lately? How many of y'all are feeling like you're not really in your highest frequency? How many of y'all been feeling like that? I just want to ask y'all some questions to help you figure out, you feel sad, okay. Alasia, okay. Baines, okay. Hella triggered yesterday, meow, meow, okay. So now let me ask you, what is your practices? What do you do when you start to feel triggered? That's what you have to figure out. That's what you have to figure out. Never quit, Baines. Never quit. Never quit. Authenticity and love, the highest frequency. Exactly. Try to find motivation. Another thing you could do is simply just put your hand over your heart and send loving energy to your heart. Imagine that you're sending like this green energy to your heart and just, and you know, some of y'all are so tough on yourself. Some of y'all are so tough on yourself. Like when I was laying down and I felt like myself starting to feel bad for myself, I literally was like, you're doing okay, Ori. You're trying your best. Sometimes that's what you need to hear from yourself. I said, because sometimes you have to parent yourself. And I said, Ori, you're okay. You're doing great. You're the best you can right now. Please don't be tough on yourself. All you really have is you. So don't be tough on yourself like that. Just trying to regulate myself. You can breathe with me if you want. And sometimes we need to just slow things down. Sometimes we need to just slow things down and go back into gratitude. Be happy that you are alive. Be happy that you have survived every single problem you ever experienced. And I'm so proud of you. Because you know, sometimes when we find ourselves being triggered, sometimes when we find ourselves being triggered, we beat ourselves more. We beat ourselves more. Everything is in how you breathe. Gratitude helps me to elevate. Breathe in for the count of 4, hold for 4, and breathe out for 8. So we're going to breathe in for 4. I needed that. I felt like something was like you ever be trying to breathe and you feel like something is like blocking in this area? And that lets you know it's something within the heart, right, Auntie? Auntie, do you want to get on this live? I would love for you to get on this live. Hold on. I'm for the call Auntie via FaceTime, and I just want her to give y'all a message. That's it. That's all I want her to do, is just give you a message. Y'all only gonna be able to hear her.
I heard you.
Hey, Auntie. Auntie, so Auntie here is a 33 life path. Let me go ahead and just show them you so they know. This is Auntie right here. So Auntie is a 33 life path, and she's born the year of the snake, and she's also born on the 7th day, so she's very, very knowledgeable. Auntie, you hear the conversations, you hear it's Mercury retrograde. Everybody's going through a lot of things right now. What is your advice to us?
Breathe. Take it one day at a time, for real. Don't stress. Don't worry. Everything is working out according to plan. This is how it's supposed to be. The more we worry is the more worries we get. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
When, let's say, a family member, if we worry about that family member, is worries going to that family member. Instead, send love. Send positive vibrations. Raise that person's vibration. Raise your own. I was talking about tapping on the chest. Take your fingertips when you don't feel good and just gently tap your chest, and it makes you feel better. Breathing on the count of 4, hold it for 4, and then breathe out. You belly breathe. So when you breathe in, your belly raises, and when you breathe out, your belly goes down. That takes away all the darkness, all the energy that's, it's not really blocked. It's just a little stuck.
Stagnant energy.
Releasing it. thing that helps too is stand outside. Go outside in the stand with your feet on the ground, on the earth. Stand on the feet and with your feet. Be grateful. Remember that feeling of being grateful. Just be grateful. Just
Yes.
feel that feeling, and you will see everything will work out.
So
Everything. Just breathe in and just be grateful for all the trials and the tribulations.
so let me ask you this, Auntie. What are like what do you do when you find yourself getting triggered? How do you like so cuz for example, let's say something triggered me last night and I've been trying to work on getting my energy back up. What do you do to get your energy back up immediately right after you know, okay, my energy is not where it needs to be right now?
Girl, I put on some soca. I put on some music that's hot, that makes my body move. I just move my body. I find the more you move your body and you listen to happy music instead of depressing music and instead of all that crap that is warping the mind and making us think of things that, instead of working together and loving each other, we hating and fighting against each other. Play music, listen to music, and just move your body and laugh. Just start laughing. Just start laughing
Be
and you will
happy, right?
feel it. Yes, you will feel that happiness take over. Ask Creator to remind you of the feeling of what it feels like to be grateful. And you will feel that feeling. And when you get that feeling in the pit of your stomach, remember it and hold on to that feeling and don't you ever lose it.
So, Auntie, how do we protect our energy? Because I've noticed that a lot of the baggage or the energy that I've been dealing with has come from other people. So how do I protect myself when I'm out and about in the world?
Okay, so what I started doing, right? Because I started absorbing a lot of people's energy and I would come home and I'd be so angry at everything. So I started putting crystals in my hair and I energize my crystals with my palms, with my energy, and I speak to my crystals. Um, I ask Creator to put a bubble of indigo light around me that when I step out of my home, nothing that does not serve my highest, greatest good can penetrate. I ask for protection and I know the main thing is knowing that you're protected. You got to know, so many of us sit down and we talk about we're gods and we're goddesses. We are. The thing about it is we have to know it.
Yeah.
When you know it, no one can take it.
They said what crystal is for healing?
Healing, oh my gosh, I use sandstone. It depends on what part of your body needs healing. Like for the root, it would be anything, with the red, the different colors of the chakra. Citrine would be for the digestive, which was solar plexus. Oh my goodness, I have so many crystals.
Are you into yeah, tell them you got some of your crystals from me.
Oh yes, oh my goodness, she has beautiful crystals, really beautiful
So
crystals,
how
beautiful.
what are your thoughts on fasting? Because I told them that I was gonna fast today because I just felt like so much energy had kind of got attached to me that I needed to detox myself.
So I do believe that we should fast ever so often. I live with, well, my mom stays lives with me, right? So for me to fast like on a regular, she thinks I'm starving. So so fasting is very important. The thing about it too, what you should do with your water, because the water that we drink is not good, right?
I do coconut water.
Okay, but when you drink regular water, put a pinch of Celtic salt in it. Oh gosh, I did a scan the other day. I must tell you about the scan, but another time maybe.
So
But put a pinch of.
what are
Go
some of
ahead.
the benefits of fasting and why should we fast?
Oh my goodness, being grounded. I think opening certain parts of us, being quiet while we're fasting, and we hear so many things. Something changes within us.
Hmm.
Something happens, and we open up, and we're more receptive to what we hear. And never question what you hear.
Hmm.
Okay, never question what you hear. You got to trust yourself.
So now this is something else I'm gonna ask, right? But besides the crystals, right? Um, how do we build up that tolerance for the outer world to not get triggered as much? How do we build up that tolerance?
Practice, 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 practice. There's the breathing method. I don't know if you know it, the 369 method. You do it, it's the same count to 4, hold for 4, breathe out for 4, your belly breathing. So you do it 3 times, then you stop for a minute and you do, piddle around regular breaths, and then you do it for 6 times. Then you take a break, piddle around for a couple of breaths, then you 9 times. You do the same thing, and then you do the same thing, but this time you're starting with 9, 6, and 3. I find that when I do my breath work, that I'm more grounded. And I do go outside and I do stand on the earth.
So you only
Sometimes I
meditate
sit out
outside.
there. I meditate outside. I meditate in the oh, that's another thing I do, a bath. I make a beautiful bath when I'm upside down emotionally. I've learned that if I draw a bath and I put my magnesium, a cup of magnesium and a cup of Celtic salt, and I put, whether it's Miss Paris or Florida water, but I put my energy into it, and I put my bay leaves, and I put my cinnamon, my real cinnamon, Ceylon cinnamon, and I make that bath. I put my crystals that are water, that can go into water, okay? I put those crystals in there, and I put my rocks that I got from the ocean, and I lay in there for 45 minutes, and I just relax, and I just let everything go.
So it sounds like the way to defeat the outer world and to defeat a lot of these triggers has to deal with the work that you do for yourself and how well you really take care of yourself. If you don't take care of exactly.
Self-care, self-care, self-care. Stop looking outside of you for love and happiness and start looking within you. All the magic and all the gifts are within every one of you. Every one of you. Every one of you. Trust me on that. The magic is within you. You just have to believe and trust you.
Yes.
Know you. You get to know you by meditating. Meditation is the art of listening. Praying is the art of asking. But don't be begging, okay?
You meditate every day?
Ask, know that it will be done.
They said we love you, Auntie.
Oh, tell them I love them too. And I'm going to start coming back live. I've been doing it, on and off, but I'm going to start being a little bit more regular.
Okay. Thank you for this.
Life happens. The bottom line is this. Life happens. It's how we handle those bumps in the road. I don't want you guys to stay there. I want you to know you can raise your vibration, okay? We can change this. You tap yourself. Tap your body. I always used to tap. This area here especially.
The heart.
And babies, listen. Please go within and face all those things you don't want to face, those things that scare you. Face them. It's going to make you sad. It's going to make you angry. Forgive you and start healing. And let's do this. We could do this together and raise our vibration. You hear?
Exactly. Thank you, Auntie. I love you so much.
Thank you for having me. I love you.
All right. Yeah. This is something that people do also. It's like a hug. Butterfly taps. All we want to do is equip you with what you need to be able to heal yourself. Now, Benzo, I've seen your comments on TikTok. You're saying that breathing and meditation can't help people, when in actuality there are actual testimonies of people doing breathing exercises and it healing their sicknesses. It's healing their cancer. It heals their ADHD. It's healing their anxiety. So just because you don't believe doesn't mean that you should spread your disbelief to everyone else. There is proof. There is brain scans. Meditation does something to the brain. There's brain, and the brain does what? The brain sends cells. The brain sends energy to different parts of the body. So you can't just say that meditation or breathing doesn't affect people or it doesn't do anything. You may have not had an experience with it because you're probably not good at it. People think that meditation doesn't do anything. Maybe you're just not good at it yet. And the thing about it is that this is something Joe Dispenza talks about. If you meditate for 30 minutes and you feel super great, but then the rest of the 23 hours of the day, you're in a negative space, what do you think is going to happen? What do you think is going to happen? What do you think is going to happen? But another thing too is a lot of people's bodies, y'all are not really relaxed. That's why you gotta relax. That's why a lot of y'all bodies are building up sickness, because your body hasn't relaxed in so long. And the thing about it is that I learned that when your mind and your heart, so when you are thinking from stress, when you are reacting, when you are in a negative place, they say that your heart actually beats out of alignment. It actually beats incorrectly. Yeah, Benzo, but that's what you have to understand is that your truth about meditation is not a fact. There's actual facts. There's actual brain scans. There's actual science to prove what meditation can do. And I could feel in my body, like now after this, I know I need to meditate. I need not to meditate. I need to do yoga, because a lot of energy is in my body. And this is something else you can do. Let me teach you something else. You can literally stand here. Hold on. Let me help y'all out so y'all can see. So you can literally stand here and just, and your body will relax. Just like what you're doing is you're taking the energy and you're dropping it. You get what I'm saying? Just relax. Wiggle out the energy, because everything is energy. You ever notice how when you're tripping out on shrooms or whatever, you want to get up, you want to move around? That's because you have a lot of energy flowing through the body and you need to do something for it. So this relaxes you, and I can feel my spine like, whoo. And then you have this one. And oh my gosh, like y'all, I could feel myself relaxing. Y'all have no clue. I was so tense before I got on this live. And this live is so healing right now. And that's what you have to do for yourself. That's what you have to do. Some of y'all need to exercise to relieve the energy. I started to lift some weights. I started to lift a couple of weights just to move the energy through my body. And then sometimes you can listen to some music. I recently went through a heartbreak. My energy has been all out of whack. It's hard to meditate right now. I do want to relax though. I want to be happy, honestly. Okay, so then this is what I recommend, Benzo. You see, that's all you had to say. What I recommend is go on YouTube, and I'm going to play his video on here too. Go on YouTube and study Joe Dispenza. Joe Dispenza literally talks about the science of this, the placebo effect, how people can heal themselves using meditation. And if you feel like meditation is really hard for you, start with just walking. Start with just walking and just taking some deep breaths, feeling your feet on the ground. Like one thing I want y'all to do is I need everybody to put their feet on the ground. Put your feet on the ground and feel your toes. Love you, auntie. Put your feet on the ground and feel your toes. Feel it. Feel how you are here right now. Feel how you are here right now. And if you want to go ahead and get some crystals for your energy, you can go ahead, click the link in my bio, and you can check out my crystal shop. Because I hadn't worn these in a while, but at a time like this, I'm like, okay, I need to wear my crystals. Because crystals hold frequency. Crystals have healing energy. You get what I'm saying? So make sure you guys go ahead and get y'all some crystals. If you want me to recommend some, do y'all want me to recommend some crystals? Would you guys like me to recommend some crystals? What do you want? Do you want me to recommend some? Okay, cool. I'll recommend some for you. I'll recommend some for you. So anything black is always going to transmute energy. So whenever you see black crystals, hold on. Whenever you see black crystals, black tourmaline, black obsidian, that is used to take negative energy, and what they're going to do is they're going to transmute it into positive energy. Selenite is a good crystal to cleanse the energy within your home. Rose quartz is a great crystal for your heart chakra. Okay. Lapis lazuli is what I'm wearing right now. Pink tourmaline is also for your heart chakra. This right here, this crystal right here is what I recommend if you feel like there's like negative energy coming towards you. That's what I'm wearing right now. This is like really good protection. Blue sandstone is for emotions. Flower agate is for your heart. Pyrite tower, that's for money. That's for confidence. Let's keep going. Sunstone, that's for your heart. That's for your confidence. Green aventurine, that's for love. That's for your heart. That's for money. Also, we have necklaces too, like what I'm wearing. See, a lot of these are sold out, y'all. We have necklaces for what you can wear. You know what I'm saying? So understand amethyst. Now, this is a crystal that I would really recommend if you find that your head is getting really fuzzy. Like amethyst is a mental crystal. Amethyst is a mental crystal. So, if you guys have any other questions, or you know what I'm saying, you're just like, man, I need, you know what I'm saying, you can go ahead and DM me, but check out the crystal shop, manhertz.com. I heard crystals can hold negative emotions. That's why you have to cleanse your crystals. I used to cleanse mine by washing them and then recharging them in the sun. Sometimes even washing them with rainwater. I don't know. I just used my imagination and what felt right. That's the best thing to do. Amethyst was the best crystal I had for real. Yeah, amethyst is very powerful, especially for the mind. Especially for the mind. I'm trying to see if there's anything else I would recommend for y'all. Let me see. Anything else I would recommend for y'all. Yeah, I mean, I think those are the basics. The basics that I would say for everybody: black tourmaline, black obsidian to protect yourself, selenite to cleanse, rose quartz for the heart. Start with the basics. Amethyst, everything is about energy. For Cancer, just recently got tiger's eye and black agate. Yeah, if you have any questions about like, hey Sticks, hey Ori, what crystal should I use? Just DM me and I'll be able to help you out. Just DM me and I'll be able to help you out. And another thing that I wanted to do is, if you guys are looking for like, hey Ori, I want to know what's going on in my life. Do you have individual pearls? No, I don't. Yo, I've been trying to find out about Moldavite too. Moldavite is powerful. And the thing about Moldavite is that when it's finished with you, it will leave your life. Like, it will literally leave your life. Another thing that I wanted to say too is that I'm giving mini numerology readings. So if you're like, hey Ori, what's going on in my life right now? Can you tell me what is my year say that I'm dealing with? What's my life path number? What am I going through? You can go ahead and you can cash at me. Like, I'm not doing anything less than $10. If you do anything over $10, the more you send, the more I give you, the more I tell you about yourself. You can super chat here on YouTube. I would recommend Cash App though. So what I'm trying to say is that, for example, if you send me $10 and you're like, hey Ori, tell me something about my birthday that could really help me out right now. And that's what I'll do for you. I'm going to send my Cash App in the YouTube so people can see it. I've done this before. I recently stopped, but I was like, you know what? I'll do it again for the people, because I know right now a lot of people are probably seeking clarity. A lot of people are probably seeking a lot of clarity right now and not just looking for answers. Somebody said, how about a one-on-one? I recently lost my root chakra crystal. Just DM me. So look, I'm about to put it in the YouTube chat. So I'm looking here now. I can't find your Instagram. My Instagram is Oriana Manhertz. My Instagram is Oriana Manhertz. I've been seeking clarity for 5 years now. So then send a Cash App and I'll tell you about it. All you got to do is give me your birthday. All you got to do is give me your birthday. And I'll give you some value. I'll tell you exactly what you need to hear. You're going to be like, oh my God, Ori, how did you know that I'm going through this kind of year right now? How did you know that? This is what I do. Like for me right now, I'm in an 11 month right now, which means that this month has been very emotional, very triggering. You know what I'm saying? You gotta Cash App something in order for me to tell you about your birthday. And then in the Cash App, you have to put your birthday. In the Cash App, you have to put your birthday. Please, because that's the best way for me to. In the Cash App, you have to put your birthday. How much for that Cash App? $10 or more. It has to be $10 or more. Oh, wow. I'm going to do that. I'm going to do just that in gratitude and abundance. The reading. Yeah. So besides that, honestly, I feel so grateful to be able to have this type of wisdom. Somebody said Cash App tag. I already put it in there, but I'll type it again. So I'm grateful to be able to have this type of information because it's really been able to help me. It's really been able to help me understand how I need to maneuver. And yeah, that's what I can tell you. That's what I can tell you. So, you know, if that's what you're into, if you're like, man, Ori, I need some clarity. Can you please tell me about this and this? So, okay, we got Alina. Alina's birthday is November 12th, 1989. So Alina, next year is going to be a really good year for you. You're very good when it comes to communicating. You're very good when it comes to talking. You're very funny. What I can see is that growing up, you either had some negativity dealing with your sexual energy. Maybe something negative sexually happened, or something else I can say is maybe you traveled away from home and that really kind of scarred you a little bit or it hurt you. What I can tell you is that this year for you is a year of meeting new people and networking and communicating and having fun and being childish. So this is not the year for you to be super serious. This is not the year for you to be antisocial. This is the year for you to go out and meet people. Because if you're going out and meeting people, that's what's going to benefit you. You have to move with the energy of your birthday and what you're going through personally. But next year is going to be such a good year for you, Alina. Liam, it's been an emotional year for you, baby. So I really recommend that you should be working out a lot. You should be working out a lot in this year because, number one, you are very, very, very emotional. And at a time like this, I can see how your emotions could be literally hurting you. I can see how your emotions could literally try to take you over the edge. So it's important that you clear your energy out with exercise. Somebody said, how can I Cash App? I'm not from the States. We don't have that. You can go on YouTube and you can super chat. You can go on YouTube, you can super chat, or what you can do is you can PayPal. You know what I'm saying? PayPal. What's PayPal? You know, different things that you can do. Did I give you any type of clarity? So Jason said his birthday is 5/25, May 25th, 2004, 9 life path 7. Okay, so what I can say about you, Jason, is you need to make sure that you get alone time and you get time to be inside of yourself, because you especially pick up a lot of energy. You literally can look at people and be like, yo, bro, like, what the fuck? Like, bro. And by the way, I do want to give credit to the people who taught me this. Before I even do this, like, I want to make sure that everybody knows that if you want to learn numerology, go on YouTube and Twitter and look up GG33. Okay? just so like people know where I got this from. GG33, all right? So if you ever want to learn about this for yourself and go down the rabbit hole, it took me like a year and a half to really, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, you can, Lena. But GG33 on YouTube, search it up and go down the rabbit hole. But so back to what I was saying. J 525 2004. You feel other people's energy. Shout out Gary. You feel other people's energy. Right? You feel other people's energy. And what I want to say is that you have to be able to take a step back and recognize what energy is yours and what energy is someone else's, because sometimes you can take on that energy and not even recognize it. So solitude is how you really heal yourself. Another thing I can say is that this should be a really good year for you, and stay away from the animal tigers. So that means 2022 was a bad year for you. It's like your enemy year. Okay. Remember, y'all, the more you send me, the more I tell you about yourself. Okay. The more you send me, the more I tell you about yourself. So, another thing I can see, Jason, is you grew up in an emotional home, or you grew up in a place where your family members weren't really there for you, or wasn't really like listening to you, or weren't really like there, like I said, there for you, y'all. They weren't really there for you emotionally. Maybe you grew up also like a great athlete or something like that, but you have to use your emotions. And what I can say too is that if you ever wanted to take social media serious, you could really blow up. So Elena, let me go back to your birthday. You're a Scorpio too. So what that means is that Scorpios are very sexual. They're ruled by the genitalia. Are you in the GG30 category? I'm thinking of joining. I'm in gold. I'm in GG33 gold. And my job is to make people aware of numerology. Okay? That's my job, to make people aware of numerology and to bring people to the source of the numerology. All right? And I'm here to teach you about it also. So another thing I can say, Lena, too, is as a snake, you are very wise, but you have to be careful with your, I never traveled away from home. Okay, Lena, so I was sheltered as a kid, if anything. That's interesting. So honestly, Lena, that means that what should have happened in a negative, so even you saying that you've never traveled away from home, did you deal with any like short-term memory? Did you do anything with modeling? Did you do anything with entertainment? Like, that's what your birthday is saying, but something negative about it. Okay. Also, something else I can say is that you are very wise, and that your birthday deals with knowledge. Like, you are the gatekeeper of knowledge. Like, you just be knowing things and not knowing how you know things. You be knowing things and you don't even know how you know things. Let me see something else. And you also are very communicative. Like, your strength literally is you talking. And also another thing too is your strength is also your sexual energy. Real talk. Remember, y'all, like I said, if you want more information on your birthday, you have to send in the Cash App. $10 or more. The more you send, the more I speak. All right. And what we're going to do is we're going to watch some videos after this to help you guys get your mentality back to a good place, because I understand as of lately, not my own way of doing music. I'm confused. I don't know what you would be really good at music though, because of your birthday. So Malika, March 25th, 2002. So March 25th, 2002, you are very big when it comes to knowledge. You love to learn new things. You're an Aries, so you're a leader. You're aggressive. You're ruled by your head. Growing up, you either had money or you were very poor, or it literally went from rags to riches. Something with money was like your situation coming up. You might have dealt with like being really, really poor and not having a lot of money. Or you get money, you lose it. You get money, you lose it. You get money, then you have none. Like, that's basically what your birthdays say. You're very stubborn too. You're very stubborn. So like, people could literally tell you things about yourself, or people could try to talk to you, and it's like you're very stuck on how you see things. Sometimes you could be a little bit of a know-it-all. I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes you could be a little bit of a know-it-all. You're a 5 life path, so you love to travel. You love to move around. You don't like being in one place for too long. Your birthday says that you're going to be very successful. You're going to have a lot of success when it comes to people, but you're going to have to learn how to control your energy and your emotions. You can get very aggressive. And people were aggressive to you growing up. Another thing I can say is 2026 will be a really good year for you. 2026 will be a really good year for you. 2026 would be a really good year for you, but 2020 was not a good year for you. Matthew, born 8/17/2001. 8/17/2001. You're born the year of the snake. You grew up very isolated. Remember, y'all, if you want me to tell you something about your birthday, make sure to Cash App $10 or more. Well, how much for that Cash App? You sent 30. So you make sure you Cash App. Can I send a rose thing worth 10 euro? Does that? How much is a rose? Is there any I don't know. I don't know how that thing work. I thought like a rose was like 1 cent. So Matthew, you grew up very like isolated. I can see that your birthday, you definitely struggle with money. You definitely struggle with relationships right now. But you're going to find that as you get older, where people may have stayed away from you or you were more isolated, people are going to start gravitating towards you a lot. And you're going to have a really big longevity type of career. Like, your career looks like it has half a penny. Exactly. Your career literally says that you have so much longevity and you're going to be so successful and you're going to make a lot of money. And you're going through a year of changes. Next year, 2025 is going to be such a good year for you. So make sure that you get really aggressive with that. Get really aggressive with that. And your birthday is coming up. Another thing that I would say too is that you have to be a leader. You should not be having people telling you what to do, but also remember, don't be too opinionated. Sometimes you can be very opinionated and judgmental. So be careful with that. And don't be too materialistic, but understand that your goal in this life is to balance your spiritual and your material. All right. So Kola, 8581. So you are a dog. So this is your enemy year. So this year has been kind of hard for you. What I would do is I would lay low. Growing up, you may have found yourself really restricted. Maybe you got in trouble a lot. Maybe people were controlling you. Maybe you were being monitored. Maybe you was in and out of foster care system. Something where you was growing up and people were really like managing you. And you had very strict rules. Like, you had to abide by some type of like rules. Another thing I can say too is you need to travel. If you travel, you will literally feel happier. You're not meant to be in one place at one time. You're not meant to be in one place all the time. You're meant to be moving around because that's what your energy like strives for. You're also very attractive. People tend to be very attracted to you. Be careful with sexual relationships because you being born on the 5th, if you have sex with the wrong person, it could really affect you. I'm born on the 23rd, so trust me, I understand. It could really affect you. Let's see. Another thing I can say is you're a double 5. Yeah. You're in a year where you should be talking to people more. You should be communicating. You should be making friends. You should be being creative a lot this year, being childlike. You may be working on your inner child a lot this year. Jania's birthday is 5/30/2005. 2023 was a hard year for you. That was your enemy year. You should stay away from cats. Cats are not your friends. Cats are not good friend like energy with you. People born 1999, the image of cats, the animals. Growing up, you're dealing with some type of like money issues. Maybe what happens is that when you have money, but then you either have all of it or none of it, or maybe you struggled in poverty, or maybe like your family is wealthy, but it's like it causes problems within y'all, like something dealing with money, power, like that's what you're struggling with. Another thing I can say is that you're very aggressive. You are born the year of the rooster. So what happens is that you are a leader. You talk a lot. You love to tell people about themselves. Sometimes you be talking too much. But it's your strength. Your communication is your strength. It's your strength. So learn how to use your mouth correctly and don't pick at people, because sometimes y'all can really pick at people. So don't pick at people. Don't be too opinionated. Why you did this? Why you did that? Why you do this? Why you did that? Why you did this? You get what I'm saying? Another thing I can say is you're very home oriented. So try not to slave yourself too much, but you're very big on your home and family, and you're very giving, and you're very loyal. You are in a year of solitude. You are in a year of solitude. So really, you could have gotten in a breakup. You could be studying more. Like that's what could be happening. All right. I'm about to get off of this. So are we done? I'm about to get off of this. So are we done? Because I'm about to. Am I taking any more? Thank you. You said Ori. Are you taking? Because I'm about to be done and I'm about to go on to the next thing. No. Are y'all? How do I get one? How much do I send? $10 or more. The more you send, the more I tell you about yourself. So for example, if you send like $28 or $20, I can really go on for a little bit about what you got going on. But if you send $10, I'll be like, hey, this is what your birthday says. Your strengths are here. Your weaknesses are here. But if you're sending like 20, 30, 40, then I'll be like, well, this is who you're compatible with. This year was your worst year. This was your good year. This is what's going to happen in your career. It's all about how much you decide to, give. The more you give, the more I give. That's basically how this goes. And so I'm going to go up. What time is it? I'll go until 1:45. So maybe about like another 10 minutes. And guys, tell me if I'm accurate now. Let me know if I'm accurate. Let me know if I'm accurate. I think I got everybody up. Jason, Liam, Alina, Janaya. Yep. And after this, I'm about to go into some teaching again. Because there's some things that I want to watch. So there's this video of Joe Dispenza that I really wanted to watch. And the reason why I want to watch it is because it talks about, Kaylee just sent something. The reason why I wanted to talk about Joe Dispenza is because Joe Dispenza actually, he talks about how to be more abundant. And a lot of it has to do with our mindset. Kaylee, 4/14/2000. Oh, you are big on traveling. This is a really good year for you, Kaylee. What I can say is that growing up, you are easily influenced. So you need to be careful who you hang around, because the people that you hang around tend to affect you. The people that you hang around tend to cause you to follow them. And for example, like you'll have friends and they'll tell you like slang, and by the end of the day, you're already copying their slang. That's your weakness. Your weakness is that you're easily influenced. And that's not a bad thing if you are influenced by the right things. Another thing I can say is that you are meant to travel and move around, and you are very attractive. People tend to be attracted to you. But you got to be careful because you have a lot of sexual energy, and sometimes people can smell that like blood. You know, that's another thing. If you're born on the 4th, the 14th, the 5th, the 23rd, people can smell your sexual energy like it's blood, and people can really be attracted to you. And you may even be indecisive, Kyle, or my bad, Kyle. Indecisive. You could be very indecisive, but this should be a really good year for you, and you should be seeing something happen for you. Let me see. Dragons are very honorable and very loyal. You're very emotional, Kyle. Kyle, you are very emotional, but your biggest strength too should be your body. Like, your body should be really fit. And the thing about it is that if you don't work out, you can get very emotional and you can get like unstable. And some of that energy can actually cause you to have pain in your stomach or get headaches. Relationships don't really seem to be your strong suit either. But at the end of the day, like, by the end of your life, you're going to have a family. So don't even worry about it. Like, it seems like your life, it says that you're going to struggle with relationships. You're going to want to be by yourself. Like, something with your emotions. Maybe you don't know how to communicate your emotions, so it makes you struggle with relationships. But as you get older, you get through that. And my biggest thing for you is that people come to you a lot and they tell you about their problems. People come to you and you're like, dang, why are they so open to me? Like, what? I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you. Anybody else before I go? Like, before I move on? Anybody else before I move on? Anybody else before I move on? Because I don't see. Boy, I'm having y'all know about the fasting burps? I'm having the fasting burps, y'all. This is your time now. Before I move on. Is that it? Is that it? Jason said for another round. I can't. What's the birthday, Jason? Okay, wait. 5/25/2004. He said another round. Okay. You're born the year of the monkey. So you probably would do so good with trading. Like with crypto, you would do really good with crypto. You're really good at imitating people too. Monkey see, monkey do. That's the thing about you being a monkey. Your enemy sign is the tiger. Another thing that I can say, hold on. As a monkey, you probably have some really broad shoulders. In your life, you've dealt with a lot of people talking shit about you. You said, bro, I'm a crypto trader. See, I told you. He said, bro, I'm a crypto trader. I told you. I know what I'm talking about. The reason why you would be good at crypto is because you're really good at noticing patterns and kind of like catching on to them. Okay. So you deal with a lot of people talking shit about you. People talk about you a lot. They're always saying some shit. So you got to be careful what you speak about. Sometimes you talk a lot and them people use those words that you speak against you and start talking shit about you. And you're very creative. Your mouth, you really can speak. You know what I'm saying? You're in a very emotional year right now. So you could be having a lot of drama coming to your life. It could be very emotional for you. You could have a change in beliefs. You know what I'm saying? Like shit could be really changing for you. I can see too your birthday. You probably did a little crime before. You probably did some stealing or something and got away with it. Be careful with that. You're going to have to work hard to get to where you want to be, though. Your birthday says that you're not one of those people that it just comes too easily. No. You're going to have to work hard. So I'm realizing that YouTube is not showing me all of the chat. So this whole time, okay, now I'm seeing y'all chat. Okay. Broad shoulders and screening frame like a boxer. Yep. Yep. Sometimes you can either be insecure or have an ego. It's like one or the other. That was a huge change for me this year. Yeah, emotional changes are happening for you too. Emotional changes. Is that all? Is that the last one? We got 2 minutes. I got 2 minutes left on that, and then I'm off of that. 2 minutes, and then I'm off of it. 2 minutes, and then I'm off. I'm on to the next thing. 2 minutes, and I'm on to the next thing. Is there anything else somebody want to say? 2 minutes, and I'm on to the next thing. 2 minutes, and I'm on to the next thing. So tell me what y'all want to do. I don't see your 15. Are you Matthew? Because I already did Matthew. Are you Malika? Michael? Michael? I think I see you. Are you Michael? Michael? Meow meow. Are you Michael? I'm trying to see something. Because I don't want to miss anybody. I feel like this Michael. So 9/22/1998. So number one, you are hard worker. Hard worker. You're really good with building things up. You're really good. If your birthday is 9/22/1998, I'm about to tell you. First of all, your body, you as a tiger, your body should be like on swole. Like you should be on swole. Sometimes you can be very impulsive. Sometimes you could be make some dumb decisions, but you're really good with your hands. Like you have the epitome of like masculine energy. Hold on. Very masculine energy. Very hard worker. God damn. Your birthday is just straight hard work and structure and organization. Very analytical. Sheesh. Yeah, I ain't gonna lie, bruh. You not gonna get to where you want to get to unless you like really like on some Kobe Bryant Mamba mentality shit. You got some big energy about you though. And you like your shit a certain type of way. That's your strength. Stay away from monkeys. Monkeys is not your apes, wearing apes, bathing apes. Like stay away from the sign of monkeys or you know what I'm saying? You're funny, you're very creative, you're very childlike. Something else I can say is that growing up, you were taught about routine and working hard as a kid. That was like how you grew up. You grew up with a lot of structure. So that's how you will succeed. You will succeed by having lots of structure in your life. 2022 was a really good year for you. Your next good year will be 2026. Your next good year for you will be 2026. Guys, if you want me to tell you something about your birthday, you have to cash app. But honestly, it's 19. It's 146. I told y'all I will go up until 145. So we're done with that. Should I be watching tarot on YouTube? The only person that I trust with tarot on YouTube is Auntie. That's the only person I trust on tarot. I don't really do tarot. She's the only person I trust because she's a 33 life path. Okay, Cole, I'm glad I was accurate. I'm glad I was able to help you. How much is the cash app? $10 or more. It has to be $10 or more. The more you send, the more you get to know. All right, y'all. So let's move on, okay? So another thing that I really wanted to talk about too, and I wanted to play this video for y'all because I started to realize, like, you know what? Let me let him explain it better. Let me play the video, and I want y'all listen, y'all. If you have been dealing with spiritual, like you've been feeling like you've been getting triggered, you've been feeling like you've been getting tested, I'm about to play something for you and you should listen to it because this started to help me a lot. I'm about to show you. especially if you're trying to make more money in your life. All right, check this out. This right here, we're gonna start it from the beginning.
That's when you know you're changing, because you're
Hold on. Listen
in
to
your
this,
brain,
y'all.
for your parents, for your cell phone,
Black
for your
tourmaline.
computer, where you
Black tourmaline, black obsidian.
live, where you've lived in
Lapis
the past,
lazuli.
what you're going to do tomorrow. That, for the most part, the brain is a reflection of everything that we know, right? So along
Listen to
with
this,
that
man.
is our relationship with money. And I feel like I have a really good relationship with money because I work on having a really good relationship with everything in my life. Right?
Did you always have a good relationship with
checking
money?
I think so. I think so. I've never really lived in lack. That just wasn't part of it. Even when I went to college and I had to take out student loans and stuff, I always figured out a way to always be a little bit ahead of the curve. And so let's back up and just look at how people form beliefs. Because most beliefs are created from past experiences, right? So children, when they're in their early ages, their brainwaves are very slow. Like their brainwaves are in alpha when they're like 7 to 12. They're in theta when they're like 2 to 6 years old, and they're in delta like when they're newborn to 2 years old. And so these brainwave states are states that were really suggestible to information.
So when we hear information, we believe it.
And we accept it, we believe it, we surrender to it as if it's the truth without analyzing it, because there's no analytical facilities yet.
Right.
The analytical mind starts around 12 or so, 7 to 12, and that analytical mind is actually what creates a barrier between the conscious mind and the subconscious mind.
So before 12, roughly, what we see, how we model our parents' behavior, what they say to us.
It's all being programmed subconsciously, right? And so that's really, really important, because if you heard money is the root of all evil, money is bad, only certain people are allowed to make money, you have to work hard to make money, this is how you got to do it. And that becomes the foundation subconsciously. That's like recording an audio file. You just keep recording that audio file, it becomes a subconscious program, right? So a lot of people have a relationship.
Hold on. Let me go get my notebook, boy. I'm gonna take some fucking notes, bro, because I need to ingrain this shit in my fucking mind.
With money based on either what they've been told or what they've experienced in their outer environment, right? So then we gain information from our environment, and the stronger the emotion we feel from experiences in our lives, the more altered we feel inside of us, the more the brain freezes a frame and takes a picture. And that snapshot is called the memory. So
based on an emotion.
Based on an emotion. The emotion alters our internal state. So you're going along as Lewis, feeling really good, and all of a sudden you have this trauma, you have this crisis, you have this shock, and all of a sudden you have this dramatic change in your internal state, and your senses get heightened, and then you freeze the frame and you associate this internal state with whatever it is that's causing it, right? And that's how we create long-term memories, right? So
Are painful memories more powerful, or beautiful memories more powerful?
they're both equal.
Okay.
They're both equal, but the problem is I think most people experience from more the negative emotions, right? And those negative emotions really are derived from the hormones of stress, right? So the alarm system, the emergency system, creates an arousal inwardly. And that arousal is saying there's something dangerous in your outer environment, right? And it could be a person, a circumstance, an accident, or whatever. And that change in emotional state causes you to remember the event. You got to pay attention, right? You got to stay really and narrow your focus on the cause. So think about people who have relationships with money, right, from the past. All beliefs are based on past experiences. So you have an experience where you lose money, you have an experience where money's taken away from you, you have an experience where you don't have enough, you're living in a place where there's not enough money, or a family that's not enough money. Then the emotion that most people are living by on a moment-to-moment basis is lack. Like, I'm in lack of having something that I want. Okay? Now, there's nothing wrong with that, because the experience changes your emotional state. You freeze the frame, you take a picture. The problem is, that's hardware. So we think neurologically within the circuits of that past experience, and we feel chemically within the boundaries of that emotion, which would say, for example, be lack, right? So now the person says,
before you go on to the next thing, what happens to the body and the mind when it is in an environment of lack? Mentally or physically, I'm in lack. What is the body and the mind saying?
Yeah, so the body is saying, I'm waiting for some external event to occur. I win the lottery. I marry the right guy. Whatever it is, that you're waiting for that event to occur.
I'm writing that down.
That experience produces an emotion. So the emotion then takes away the lack. And so when we play the game in three-dimensional reality, the creation game in three-dimensional reality, we experience separation from everyone or everything because our senses fool us into the illusion, the hallucination of separation. I'm here and you're there. I'm here and the door is over there. So I'm aware that I'm here at one point of consciousness and the door is over there, another point of consciousness. Okay, so in order for me to get from here to the door, I got to move my body and do something through space. I got to do something, and everything in this three-dimensional reality is going to take time and energy, right? So, okay, so then here's Lewis right here, and then he says, okay, I want this experience in my future, and your brain automatically predicts and projects how far in the future you think it's going to take.
Maybe it's a year, 5 years, 10 years.
30 years.
Oh my God.
Right? Because that's what it's going to take to pay off that house, right? So now, one point of consciousness, I'm here. The other point of consciousness is where I'm placing my dream. So I'm separate from that experience. So then how do I get to that experience? In three-dimensional reality, you got to get up and you got to do something. You got to go to work. You got to drive to work. It takes energy. You got to fill your car with gas. You got to eat food. You got to work. You know, all this stuff. You got to sleep. You got to recover if there's stress. And now people are, in a sense, waiting for the experience that's 10 years down the road or 30 years down the road to happen to take away the lack of them not having it. And unfortunately, many times when the experience finally occurs, they can't enjoy it because they're too exhausted, right? So you play the game, you go to school, you study really hard, or you study on your own. You develop some skills, you make the right choices, you start saving money, you start learning from your mistakes, and then the game is how many things can you accumulate, and that accumulation then you associate with being wealthy or being abundant or being successful, right? And some people get really good at it, right? You can get really good at that. But for the most part though, when we create from three-dimensional reality, we're creating from lack and separation.
Wow.
In other words,
break that down.
You're driving down the road and you see someone...
When we create, I gotta write that down. When we create from 3D reality, we create from lack. Wow, that's crazy.
Driving a car that all of a sudden you realize that you don't have. The moment you become aware that that person has that car and you don't have it, you're in lack of having it, right? So what the brain naturally does is it naturally creates you driving that car. And you have an image of yourself driving that car and you start identifying, wow, that would be a greater experience for me to have. The problem is the distance between the thought of what you want and the experience of actually happening for most people is the concept called time. Right? Between cause and effect, right? So some people develop the ability to manage themselves and manage their life. They develop certain skills and they can pay for it and they can get it very quickly. The problem is when the novelty of that experience wears off, you know, the car, and they're no longer identifying with that, and the feeling of emptiness and lack comes back.
They need to find something else.
They got to go and find something else. And so there's this game that goes on where you never have enough, right? And that's the lack game, right? So then if you think about people having the things they want in their life, when they create from lack and separation, it's the experience in three-dimensional reality that produces the emotion, and the emotion is saying, let's feel and experience this thing that you've been in lack and separation from, and that emotion then takes away the lack or separation. But you've worked really hard to get it, okay? Nothing wrong with that. Is there another way to do it?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay, so the person who's living in lack is waiting for their wealth to feel abundant. They're waiting for their success to feel empowered. They're waiting for their healing to feel gratitude. They're waiting for their new relationship to feel love. They're waiting for their mystical experience to feel awe. That's the Newtonian model of reality, of cause and effect. Waiting for that event to happen to take away this separation or lack. Nothing wrong with it. It's the way most people create. But what we've discovered is actually something else.
Okay.
The moment you feel gratitude, your healing begins. The moment you feel worthy and abundant, you're generating wealth. The moment you're empowered, you are moving towards your success. The moment you're in love with yourself and you're in love with life, you'll create an equal. The moment you are in awe of life, you're going to have a mystical experience. And so that's causing an effect, right? So then if you can teach people then how to create, instead of from lack or separation, but create from wholeness, and create from what we call the quantum field,
Create from
instead of three-dimensional reality.
What's the difference?
Okay, so the way first of all, it takes knowledge, okay? The quantum field is an invisible field of energy that exists beyond our senses. You can't see it, you can't smell it, you can't taste it, you can't hear it, you can't feel it. It exists beyond our experience of three-dimensional reality.
Would this be in our mind's consciousness, or would this be in a different space?
Okay, let's look at that. So the answer to the question is, how much of your waking day do you put your attention on matter, on the material world, and how much of your waking day are you aware of energy and frequency? For most people, they're unaware of the quantum field. And if you're unaware of it, it doesn't exist for you. Right. Just like you have a nose, but if you're unaware of it, it doesn't exist for you. The moment you become aware of it, it exists. Well, the quantum field, you could study all kinds of science, and they'll tell you there is this invisible field of frequency and energy that exists beyond the senses that tend to connect everything physical and material. In fact, everything physical and material is connected to this field. Okay, so how do you get there, right? How do you get there?
How do you get there?
How do you get there? So we discovered that when you take all of your attention off your body and you are not paying attention to your emotions, your drives, your habits, if you could take all of your attention off of every element in your environment, your cell phone, your tablet, your computer, your car, your whatever it is, your bed, take your attention away from everything, every place that you live, where you sleep, where you work, and you're not thinking about time. You're not thinking about your schedule, where you need to be, or what happened yesterday. You can relax into the present moment. There tends to be a dramatic change in the way the brain functions when people do this properly. We call it getting beyond yourself, but in a sense, you're dissociating from your three-dimensional reality. Why? Because if you're thinking about anything in your three-dimensional reality, that's where your attention is and that's where your energy is, okay? So we kind of figured out this formula when people really become nobody, no one, no thing, nowhere, and no time. They're pretty much all of a sudden outside the constraints of the Newtonian world of got to do something to get an outcome. And if you can teach people how to linger there without a name, without a face, without a profession, without a family, without a culture, without a past, without a disease, you teach them how to be in this place we call the unknown, right? And you teach them that from that place, that invisible field, is where everything material comes from. And if they could create coherence in their brain, you need a strong signal in the brain. The more coherent the brain, the more stronger the signal.
What do you mean a strong signal?
Okay, let's see how I could say this. When most people, when we look at brains in real time, and we're looking at people's how their mind is working. When you're under stress, okay, stress is created by not being able to predict something that's going to happen in your life, the perception that something's going to get worse or you can't control something, right? So when that occurs, we switch on that primitive nervous system called the fight or flight nervous system, and the brain goes into this very alarmed state called high beta. That means pay attention to the outer world. There's danger out there. But if it's not a predator and it's traffic or your coworker or your ex,
right,
this is where it gets to be a problem because it becomes very maladaptive, right? So when we're in that state and the brain is in that aroused state, we try to control and predict everything. So every person, every object, everything, every place, even your body has a neurological network in your brain, right? So as the arousal happens, we start shifting our attention to all these elements, and like a lightning storm in the clouds, the brain starts firing very, very incoherently. And when the brain's incoherent, we're incoherent. It's
So
just
that's not a strong signal.
That's not. It's a static on the wire. That's disconnection. There is no signal.
Right.
So when we're in that state, we're always really looking for the worst case scenario of what's going to happen, because if you prepare for the worst, anything less happens, a better chance of survival, right? So in this kind of aroused state, as we shift our attention to each one of these elements that are known in our environment, the brain starts compartmentalizing and firing out of order, and that is what creates what's called autonomic dysregulation. That causes the brain and body to get really out of balance, right? So in that state, we're over-focused. You know, when you're stressed, you're over-focused on something. You can't stop thinking about it. Our research shows that when you do that, you actually make your brain worse.
Wow.
Because you're analyzing your problems within some disturbing emotion, and that emotion is driving you further out of balance. You're actually knocking your brain and body out of balance by thought alone, and you're driving it into these more aroused states, right?
For someone that's been living like that for decades, that's their base state. How do they even realize how to get out of that?
They don't. Usually it takes crisis, right? It takes trauma.
Extreme
It
breakdown.
takes crisis.
A loss, a death,
all of
a
that.
breakup, a divorce, a near
bankruptcy, whatever it is, a disease, a diagnosis, whatever, something where you just can't go on business as usual. Like, now it's time to really start looking, right?
They have to wake up then.
Yeah. So let's get back to the concept of abundance here, because
you need a strong signal in this field.
right. So then, if you can teach people to do the exact opposite, go from putting all of their attention on everything physical and material in the world of separation, and instead of narrowing their focus on something material, ask them to broaden their focus and put it on nothing. Now, I know that sounds kind of crazy, but when you put your attention on space and you divert your attention, the act of sensing without thinking actually starts to slow the brainwaves down. Not only slow it down, but all of a sudden cause the brain to start reintegrating, starts to synchronize, right? And so you see different compartments of the brain that were firing out of order start to resonate. They start to communicate. They're all of a sudden synchronizing, and what syncs in the brain kind of links in the brain. So when a person has their whole entire brain firing in rhythm, that's a very strong signal that you can send out into the field.
So when that signal is strong in that position, what can you create from that space?
Okay, but that's only one element.
Okay.
So then the clear intention tends to be a very important element that we have to get down. And the more coherent the brain, the more clear the signal for that intention. So with intention and attention, we could actually make thought more real than anything else. Now, what is that? You're saying, what would it be like to be wealthy? What would it be like to be abundant? What would it be like to have all my needs met? What would it be like to have more than I need? What would I do if I had everything I ever wanted? The answer always is the same. You start giving stuff away. Because if an abundant person is truly abundant, why would they hold on? They would say, I'm not in lack. There's more for everybody, okay? Turns out, though, that the signal sent out isn't enough. You have to draw the experience back to you. And so
send the signal out to,
it's coherent brain,
financial freedom,
whatever
abundance, all these different things.
Right. Whatever that is for you. Whatever that is for you.
You're putting that out there with your signal, with the intention and the attention.
Right.
And then how do you draw it to you? So in the physical world,
in the physical world, you got to go get it. You got to do something. This is the plane of demonstration. You got to go get it, and when you're in lack until it occurs, right?
But I'm hearing you say there's a way to not chase but attract.
All right. So if you're creating from the field instead of from matter, right? There's a very strong possibility that you'll shorten the distance between the thought of what you want and the experience of having it. And when there's a vibrational match between your energy and that future that you want to experience, now if you're creating from the field, you actually don't go anywhere to get it. You actually draw it to you. So here comes the synchronicities, the serendipities, the coincidences, the opportunities, and they come out of nowhere. And you say, I don't understand. I didn't do anything. Well, you changed your energy.
Wow.
And so
Change your
then
energy.
the other element is a coherent heart, right? And the heart has a magnetic signature. And the magnetic signature is what draws reality to us, right? So you combine that clear intention with a coherent brain. Now here's the key.
I'm
This
writing,
takes
child.
practice.
Yes.
Because
And I'm gonna
the
meditate right
person
after
who's
this.
living in lack is usually unworthy, is usually insecure, is usually in their past, they're usually frustrated.
I'm not gonna lie. I started to read this book last night called Radical Acceptance. And it's basically a book on Buddhism. So I recommend that, maybe studying a little bit of Buddhism to understand the unworthiness and to get into acceptance and being in that heart chakra.
They're usually impatient, they're usually resentful because nothing's changing out there because it's taking too long. Well, everything takes a lot of time when you do matter to matter, right? So then if you teach them, okay, we know all about that. We know the story behind that. We
all the
know
things of
what your
your
parents
past and,
told you about money, all that other. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. But now let's do something that would be really cool. Let's write down the feelings of how you would feel
Write it down.
if that future happened, and you're going to have to feel that feeling before it occurs. So now, okay, what does an abundant person feel? Pretty much free, a lot of
Free,
freedom,
peace, excited, joyful.
in love with life, grateful to be alive, abundant. Okay, now let's practice feeling those. Turns out when you're feeling those other emotions like resentment and impatience and frustration, you're stepping on the gas pedal, you're just turning on the sympathetic nervous system, and you're stepping on the brake.
At the same time.
At the same time, which is you're angry, you're frustrated, but the fight or flight nervous system says run, fight, or hide, and you're sitting in a Zoom meeting and your neck is pulsating is because the heart is beating against the closed system, right? You're not using it in an adaptive way. So the heart starts firing out of order. It starts firing incoherently, and incoherent waves cancel each other out. It's called destructive interference, and then we stop trusting our future. Energy leaves the heart. Energy leaves the brain, energy leaves the heart, and you can't get in touch with the feeling of your future because in survival, which those are hormones of stress, all those emotions, in survival it's not a time to create, right? It's time to run, fight, and hide. Okay, so we gotta lay down the very thing we used our whole life to get what we want. The habit of doing it that way for something greater to occur. Okay.
And what happens if we try to create from survival emotions?
It just takes a long time. You'll just force it.
Little steps at a time.
You'll force it. You'll force it. You'll fight for it. You'll compete for it. And you'll manipulate. You'll cheat. You'll lie. You'll do anything to get what you want because that's what matter does when it's trying to change matter. And everybody's playing that game, right? Everybody's trying to accumulate the most amount of things.
Right.
Okay, so that's what abundance means to certain people. Get as many things as you can. Okay, you want that? Not a problem. But let's learn the formula of how to create, right?
Yes.
So then you'd have to feel those emotions before the experience occurred. And if you understood that you could dissociate all of your attention from this three-dimensional reality and have no attention on anything known, and understand it's the field that creates matter, not matter that emits the field. And if you could get to that place and change your energy with a clear intention and elevated emotion, your heart starts beating in this beautiful rhythm like a drum. We've measured it so many times. And when that occurs, the next thing that happens, the heart informs the brain, it's safe to create now. So the person relaxes into the present moment, and then we see this like if you took a big sheet, and a blanket, and you went like that, the energy of the heart actually informs the brain to move into these beautiful, elegant states of alpha brainwave patterns, coherent alpha. And that's saying, what's the next dream? What's the next opportunity you want to experience? That's a state of creation. So now you have a Wi-Fi signal. You got a coherent brain. That's a directive, that's a signal out. And you got this coherent heart. That's what draws it to us, right? You combine those two, and if there's a vibrational match between your energy and that potential in the quantum field, and you're feeling abundant, and whatever your brain associates with being abundant, that's your call. That's what the creative process is. This is the creative center. The brain, frontal lobe, actually says, what would it be like to be creative or abundant? I don't know what it'd be like to be abundant. Well, then go read a few books on people who actually became abundant and realized it wasn't a glorious process. They failed miserably. They got betrayed. They learned a lot of lessons, but they persevered. And what are the qualities of that person that you could embody? That's the key, right? Because it's not about wealth. It's who you become, right? Because people think it's about their wealth, but it's the becoming process. It's the overcoming.
That attracted that, right?
Of course. So then you got to turn the battleship around, because most people say, I can't feel grateful for my wealth because it hasn't happened yet. That's the hypnosis. Waiting for the experience to happen to feel grateful. Well, that's Newtonian, that's three-dimensional reality, that's cause and effect. The quantum, you got to feel it in order for you to experience it. Okay, so this heart becomes like an amplifier, and it sends that signal out, and that frequency can carry the thought of your abundance. Suffering cannot carry the thought of your abundance. Lack cannot carry the thought of your abundance. It's a different frequency, right? We feel different feelings like suffering. We think different thoughts, right? So people can say, I'm abundant, I'm abundant, I'm abundant, I'm abundant, all they want, but that thought is never making it to the body, because it's stopping at the brainstem, because the body's saying, I'm miserable, I'm unhappy, I'm in lack, right? So the affirmation doesn't work, right? Okay, so let's go one step further.
Yes.
Hey, Melissa.
So if you practice this, and you actually understood, well, we teach this pretty well, but if you learned it just like learning how to play handball, or learning how to hit a golf ball, learning how to dance a salsa, so you just practiced the form, you got really good at it. If you were doing it properly then, what would be the outcome? The experiment of being abundant would be that you would have to feel that feeling. Get so good at doing it with your eyes closed. You got to do it with your eyes open. Now, why? Because if you're feeling the feelings of your emotions, of your future, you're no longer looking for them.
Because you're in the future now.
Your body is so objective that it's believing it's living in that reality where you are abundant. And as long as you feel that emotion, you're not separate from it any longer. You're no longer in lack. You're no longer looking for it to occur. Say, why hasn't it happened yet? If you're feeling abundant, why would you look? Right? You wouldn't. So then, our job then is to be able to maintain that modified state of mind and body. So does that mean like you should check your bank account tomorrow and see if there's $500,000 in it? No. You keep tuning into that potential, and then here come the synchronicities.
Yes.
What's that? That's feedback in your environment. It's the universe saying, hey, Louis, whatever you're doing, all of a sudden, we are starting to create, right? And I think it's so important for people to remember that they're the creators of their lives instead of the victim of their lives, right? So the victim is saying, I'm feeling this way because that person or that circumstance, or I don't have any money, is causing me to feel this way. That's my relationship with money. What that really means is I'm using my lack to reaffirm my dependency, my addiction, my conditioning. That's my relationship with money, is that I put my attention on money because I don't have it. So their relationship with money is, of course, built on lack. And so when they don't have it, they feel bad. And what they're really saying is, my outer environment, my reality is actually controlling the way I feel and the way I think. So, Louis, why are you in a good mood today? Things are going good. Why in a bad mood? Things are going bad today. So this unconscious program of victimization is saying that we're allowing our environment to influence the way we feel and the way we think. Isn't that what victimization is? And the stronger the emotion we have to our lack, the more we put our attention on the fact that we don't have it, right?
Yes.
And so then the person has forgotten that they're creating reality, because what they're creating is lack. And they're creating more of it. And then they try harder, and they force harder, and they control
and they're more
more.
exhausted, and their body's tired,
and they're breaking down. And, right. So the experiment then is, let's try it another way. Let's create from the field instead of from matter. Get a coherent heart, get a coherent brain, relax in the heart, and energy moves right into the brain. We've measured this 1,000 times. And all of a sudden, the person moves into these beautiful, elegant brainwave states where they're super creative, right? So the longer you're conscious of that energy, the more you draw that future to you. So then, what does the synchronicity mean? It means whatever you're doing inside of you is producing that effect outside of you. Pay attention to what you did.
Keep doing
and do
more
it again.
Yeah.
So generate a little bit more abundance. Just do it for an experiment. Now, when the synchronicity happens, do you think you feel suffering, or do you think you feel a little excitement? You You feel inspired, right? So then that synchronicity is saying, use this energy, use this feeling. It should be easier for you to feel this now, and go back and do it again. Keep the experiment going. And here comes the promotion. Here comes the email. Here comes the person you meet at the right time, right? Whoa, we have something happening here, and then that becomes the momentum, right? So then we generate abundance. That's how we do it. And the relationship,
it doesn't just happen by accident. We generate it.
We generate abundance,
Money,
right? So
Ori,
then,
not Ari,
if you
so
have
funny.
an hour meditation where you're tuning into your abundant future, but then you're spending the other 15 hours a day in lack, don't expect anything to change. You defaulted. You're back to the old energy. And if you say it's that person or that circumstance or that bank account, I'm going to say you're back to the unconscious program of being a victim, right? So then let's go a step further. If your personality creates your personal reality, and it does, and your personality is made up of how you think, how you act, and how you feel, then the present personality who's listening to this podcast has created the present personal reality called their life. Nothing big there. Which means if you want to change your personal reality, you're going to have to change your personality.
Right.
Nothing changes in your life until you change, right? So then 95% of who we are is on autopilot, right? It's a programmed thoughts, hardwired thoughts, beliefs, perceptions, unconscious habits and behaviors.
All right, y'all. I need to go take this energy, meditate, and go in the sun. But the video is called Money Will Flow Like Crazy. So look up Joe Dispenza and then look up abundance, or look up money, and then you'll find this video. Okay, let me show you. See? Let me show you this video right here. All right. I love you guys.